Okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you the next steps, which obviously you can find in Schoology. So in Thursday's folder, which obviously is today, we have the next steps, and we actually are going to watch 2 graffiti videos, which I'm going to show you in just a second. Some of you may have watched them. I'm assuming most of you have not. They are about 2 different graffiti artists. There's a million graffiti artists out there, but 2 that I've chosen to show you. They're quick videos, but I'm going to show you those. And you do have a discussion to complete today. Some of you have already done that, so thank you for those of you who have done that. I do have it as due Tuesday. I'm going to change that due date because I changed my mind moving forward, so I'll change that due date. We then have a new page in our sketchbook to complete today, and it is all about shading because we are moving into a really funky breakout brick wall shading drawing for graffiti, and y'all need to know how to shade. You need some practice. So how that's going to work is on a new sheet of paper, and you need a pencil for this one. Okay, you have to use a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, we should have extras. So you are going to create your own value scale, and then you're going to put it into action and show me this really funky square, and I'll show you what I mean. So this literally walks you through the steps. So you're going to draw 6 squares on a new sheet of paper. You are then going to follow along with this video because it's going to show you the best way to make a value scale. I always start from dark to light because if you start from light to dark, you might get to this square and already be the darkest your pencil can possibly go, and then what do? So if you go from dark to light, it gives you a better value scale, and it gives you a better, you're like, okay, I need to ease up, It gives you a better, it's just easier. So most teachers teach from dark to light. So watch that video as you create your value scale. If you want to create your boxes this way where they're connected, totally fine. I have some students who don't like that. It doesn't work for them. They want them separate. Everybody has their own style and their own brain works their own way, but you need at least 6 squares. So whether you put them separate or together, I do not care. But notice how methodical these are drawn, which means that they're not sloppy, they're not crooked, they look nice, okay? With the More or Less project, I was not as impressed as I have been with other work because it felt like very rushed with most people. So I really want you to get back into that craftsmanship and putting your time and effort into things. So think about even just drawing squares. It takes effort. So that's the first part. Sorry, let's go through here. The second part is to practice it. So you're going to draw, if you can look here, it literally is 1, 2, 3 squares, okay? You are then going to add the shading, just like a value scale. So if you look here on the left side, they start light and get dark, 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 dark to light, and then light, 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 light. So it's literally a value scale in a square. And then it's the opposite, light to dark, and vice versa, opposite. I don't care if you go from top to bottom, so they did dark to light this way, or side to side. Here are some student examples, okay? So you have a whole sheet of paper value scale, and then your square value practice. This might take some time because a lot of us haven't done actual value, and you do not want to see it's gradual. So it's literally shading into itself, not abrupt lines where it's dark to light, dark to light. It's very gradual. Does that make sense? So we shouldn't see those abrupt lines. So that's our next step today, is to have this sheet done in our sketchbook. Before we go there, like I said, I am going to show you the 2 videos for the discussion. So if I go back to Thursday, so if you're at home, I'm going to show them now because you're joining me and you can watch them. But my home peeps who are not on here are going to have to watch them on their own. You obviously do not have to rewatch the TED Talk that we already watched unless you're at home and you haven't watched it yet. But we're going to watch these 2 artists, and again, they're quick. You have 3 questions to answer on this graffiti discussion. And I need you to answer all 3 if you want full credit. So the one is, now that you've learned about the history of graffiti and where it comes from, is all graffiti illegal or connected to gang activity? The second question, can graffiti be art? Why or why not? And then third is, how can graffiti or street art be done legally? So where you're not in trouble. So those are the 3 questions that you'll need to answer. Is everybody cool if I start to show you one of the videos? Are we good there? Okay, so your job is to graffiti discussion first. Finish graffiti assignments from Tuesday, and then move on to your shading work that is detailed in here today. So you should have 3 pages in your sketchbook so far dedicated to this unit. That is where we're at today.